So hi Trace, welcome to Coffee and Crypto.
Yeah, glad to be here.
How are you feeling Bogotá?
Oh, Bogotá is very fun. We sang some karaoke last night. Well, I don't think "we's" the right word. Some other people sang some karaoke.
It was fun.
But yeah, this is my 5th Latin American Bitcoin conference that I've attended. I've attended all of them, and they're just incredibly fun. You know, seeing how fast Bitcoin has grown in South America among all the Spanish and Portuguese speaking people. Yeah, it's fantastic.
So you've been to all 5 conferences. How do you feel the energy surrounding Bitcoin since the beginning, when it started 5 years ago, to now 5 years later in the Latin American community?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. The first conference was in Buenos Aires, and we had a significant number of people that came, a couple hundred. But yeah, I mean, it was very early. Then the next conference was in Rio de Janeiro. And the price had gone down. It was a bear market. And so there were maybe 150, 200 people that showed up. And I talked with some of the people there. They had like 2 people in their startup. And then I see them the next year in Mexico City, and they've now got 10, 20 people in their startups. Yeah, they've grown. And like the whole volume in Brazil was like 50 to 100 Bitcoins, and when we did the conference in Rio, that's why we did it in Rio, was to build the Brazilian community, get relationships with people in Argentina and the other places. So we came back from Mexico City to Buenos Aires, and up in Mexico City they were doing like 50 to 100 Bitcoins of volume, and Brazil's up to like 5,000. Then we come back to Buenos Aires, Mexico's doing 5,000 Bitcoins a daily volume. Brazil's like through the roof, and now we come here to Bogotá, and Brazil and Mexico are like, Bitcoin is firing on all cylinders there, and Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Bolivia, Chile all have significant Bitcoin communities and volumes happening, and so it's just really picking up.
So you feel that this conference has actually helped pick interest in the countries about Bitcoin and blockchain technology?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're dealing with, people, and people are trying to transfer value, and they're deciding, I'll use Bitcoin to do that. But you have to build critical masses. It's kind of like people who speak languages. If you're the only one who speaks the language, it's hard to use it. It's like a fax machine. And so that's why we picked these different cities to host the Latin American Bitcoin Conference in very strategically, so that the Brazilians, they're close to Brazil and close to Argentina, so then we moved to Rio. Strategically went after Brazil because it's a larger market. Then we went up to Mexico, which is North America, but also speaking Spanish, and bringing some of the Central American players up there, like Panama, etc., and building the communities, because if it's one log, it's not going to be very much of a fire. But if you get all the logs together, now you got a real fire burning there. And so that's what's really, I think, happened with this Latin American Bitcoin conference over the years, is that, we see our friends, we've been doing business deals with each other, we've been making money, the price has been going up, more people are interested in it. It just becomes a very virtuous cycle.
So you guys are all happy because you've seen the evolution of your project since like when you first met at the first conference, and the next year, like you were telling me how they scaled.
Yeah, I mean, I'm extremely pleased with the activity we've seen down here in South America, because I was coming down to South America to build Bitcoin even before we did that first Latin American Bitcoin conference.
Really?
Yeah, I came down into Argentina, and I was helping explain to some of the people. We even brought foreign currency exchange people in from all the outlying provinces into Buenos Aires so that they could like figure out how to use Bitcoin, because they had all these like problems like moving money around and outside of Argentina. So we were like training, this is like 2011, we're training people on how to do this. And so, yeah, I mean, to grow from something so small like that to now where we've got exchanges pretty much dedicated to every country, we've got news services dedicated pretty much to every country in their languages. I mean, we kind of take it for granted. We have all this information in English. If you speak English, that's great, but this is a global, worldwide phenomenon. We need Bitcoin education and materials in Spanish and Portuguese and Russian and Chinese and like French and like everything else, right? Because a lot of Africa speaks French. And so, I mean, all of that's just very exciting to see such a large community. And also, South America does a lot of trade with other countries besides just North America, so you've got Brazil and Russia like doing lots of trade, and China. So, and Bitcoin is increasingly becoming a tool that these communities are using in all of their international trade. And so that's cool.
True, it feels like the fire has already gone global. Like everyone's hearing and talking about Bitcoin. It's become more mainstream this year. What advice would you give for people that are just hearing about Bitcoin for the first time?
Yeah, just get in, start to use it, try to figure out what it does. No, I mean, so many people, they'll read about Bitcoin for a year or two before they actually go and get some Bitcoin and figure out what to do with it. You know, get some Bitcoin, get maybe $50, $100 worth, figure out how to send it from your wallet on your phone to your desktop computer, you know, build that human capital. That will then give you the optionality to then buy more Bitcoin if you want to, because you'll know how to secure it. But if you don't actually know how to use it, you know, I mean, ride the bike. I mean, you can't just think about riding the bike and reading about riding the bike. Like, get on the bike, ride the bike. You might skin your knee, big deal. You'll figure it out. Just don't like break your neck or something right off the bat. Be safe and conservative, have some training wheels.
So you feel people should research about this now, just because I've been hearing that everyone says that the price is just going to go to the moon?
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, I first started talking about it publicly when it was a quarter.
Oh, wow.
You know how many people I run into at these conferences? They're like, oh man, I wish I'd like bought it when you were talking about it when it was $1 or $5 or $100 or $500 or $1,000 or like $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 or now it's $12,000. So I mean, like, when are you going to figure it out? When are you going to send your first email? When are you going to attach your first file to the email that you've sent? I mean, you have to get some basic technological literacy in this world that we're going into. Otherwise, you're just at a huge disadvantage. And Bitcoin, at the end of the day, it's just technology, and you just got to figure out how to use it and get that literacy in it.
Well, technology is the language of the future. I feel like everyone should know a little bit about it at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, when we're dealing with computers, they speak zeros and ones. They don't speak Chinese, they don't speak Russian, they speak zeros and ones. And like, you know, that's what we're seeing. Look, we disintermediated like newspapers, radio, TV stations, you know, with things like YouTube, and now we got Facebook, and like we have blogs and podcasts. Snail money, it's on the way out because it's really slow, and it's going to get replaced by something, probably Bitcoin. So you better know how to use it, because the currency markets are the largest in the world. I mean, there's $90.4 trillion of broad money out there. There's a $200 billion market cap for Bitcoin.
Yeah, the world's becoming digital.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah. I mean, are you going to use snail mail, analog money like dollars or euros or gold or silver? Or are you going to use digital money? I mean, if it's going to be digital money, you might as well figure out how to use Bitcoin, because if it's not Bitcoin, it's probably going to be something else that's like Bitcoin.
So you were mentioning that you discovered Bitcoin when it was 25 cents a quarter.
Well, publicly talking about it. I just found it on the internet.
You found it online one day.
Got a little nose, like, found it.
Nice, good discovery.
Yeah, it's definitely paradigm changing.
And how do you feel people's reaction now that Bitcoin has, since you started speaking about it so early, now that it's mainstream, how do you feel people are reacting to it now?
Well, I don't think it's mainstream yet. It's definitely been in the mainstream consciousness, but
I hear about it every day almost.
But the average person, they haven't bought any Bitcoin. They just read about it. They're just watching the price, like, run away. Eventually, they're gonna buy some. $12,000, $50,000, $100,000, $500,000. When are they gonna buy their Bitcoin? I don't know. But no, I mean, it's not nearly mainstream yet. It's still kind of like 1992 or 93 with the internet. I mean, it's still very early days.
So you feel, some people feel that they already missed the ship. So you feel that they should take advantage of this.
Yeah, no, they haven't missed the boat. Like, no, the Bitcoin train, it's barely even moving, and it's not even very big yet.
Okay, that's good advice. And if Bitcoin is a honey badger, what are the other coins, spirit animal? What would you assign to them?
Oh, that's funny. I guess Ethereum would be a ghost, because it's not very solid, even though it has solidity. Dash is like a cow, because you can milk it. It's like the cash cow of crypto. Yeah, what would the other ones be? Like Litecoin, I guess, would be some other species of badger. I don't know.
So family related.
Yeah. I mean, Litecoin's very similar. You know, very similar DNA to Bitcoin, but. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought of like the spirit animals of all the different cryptocurrencies. Guess I haven't been in South America long enough.
And what other altcoins, like now there's other coins besides Bitcoin, what other coins would you recommend people to research about?
Oh yeah, there's, gosh, over 1,000 of them now. In fact, I just published on my Bitcoin Knowledge podcast, Bitcoin.kn, I talked with Hajid from Hosho about Bancor and how it has a critical vulnerability in it, where coins and balances can be deleted or moved at will without the consent of the token holder. Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? My money just all disappeared. What happened to it? So, you definitely have to be on guard with thousands of these different tokens. Then you got forks, right? So you have like Bcash, you got Bitcoin Gold or B Gold, you got Bitcoin Diamond. Well, Bitcoin Gold had malware on its website that would compromise your private keys. And somebody lost 36 Bitcoins trying to claim their Bitcoin Gold. So, that's what I'm talking about in terms of developing your human capital and understanding the technical literacy and how to do this stuff.
So it's complex.
You can lose your money,
How do you recommend them to keep their money safe?
I pretty much 4 steps. There's Bitcoin Core, to have a full node, do full validation of the blockchain. Armory, which you can then run on top of Bitcoin Core to manage your private keys. And you'll create an unsigned transaction. You take that to an offline computer to sign it. To have proper operational security around that process, glacierprotocol.org, 95-page PDF, tells you where all the landmines are so you don't lose your money. And then I like to have what's called a Purism laptop, puri.sm is the website, and it's built specifically for privacy and cybersecurity. You can flip a switch that physically disconnects the Wi-Fi card in the computer, or you can order one that doesn't even have a Wi-Fi card.
Like analog.
Yeah, totally offline, so those are my 4 steps for securing the coins, which pretty much Bitcoin's the only one you can really do that with, without it being super cumbersome. Other coins I like, I kind of like Dash, I think it's got some fundamental evolution with the budget proposals and the master nodes, but otherwise, I look at all these coins and ICOs, it's a way for people to get your Bitcoins.
But you should keep your Bitcoins.
Yeah, but you should have your Bitcoins. Don't give them to somebody for the next ICO scam.
What's your opinion on ICOs? It's like a trending topic at the moment.
I think there's a lot of shenanigans going on.
ICOs?
Yeah, a lot of shenanigans, a lot of shady business. Why? Sure, it's innovative and interesting, but don't put your money there. ICOs are also down 80% measured in Bitcoin in the last 6 months. So it's been a great way to lose money. ICOs have been a great way to lose money. Just buy Bitcoin and hold it, hodl the Bitcoin.
So it's been great advice that you have given us. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.